Friends, today we are going to discuss about IR spectroscopy, which is very important spectroscopy. Basically, it is used to identify the functional group present on organic moiety or any chemical moiety. So we will discuss IR spectroscopy. First, we need to know that what is IR spectroscopy. So whenever we talk about spectroscopy, it means that we are talking about the interaction between matter and electromagnetic radiations. If this interaction happens or occurs between infrared radiation and matter, and we get or obtain a spectra, then this interaction leads to IR spectroscopy. The region of IR spectroscopy is between visible and microwave region, that is near around 700 nanometer to 1 millimeter. This spectroscopy, IR spectroscopy, basically related to vibrational and rotational energy levels present in molecule. Now we have to discuss about the condition. What kind of molecule will absorb IR radiation or what kind of molecule will not absorb IR radiation. So we need to understand what is the condition for IR spectroscopy or IR spectra. Actually, there is vibration between the bond in a molecule, and if that vibration frequency matched in IR region, then molecule will absorb the IR. Okay, but it is not necessary or that all bonds present in a molecule will absorb IR. Some of the bond may absorb or some of the bond may not absorb the IR. Then we have to understand that then what kind of bonds will absorb the IR. The bond which change its dipole moment. The bond that change its dipole moment, that bond will absorb the IR, but the bond which does not change its dipole moment, that bond will not absorb IR. The absorption of IR by bonds in a molecule, such kind of molecules are known as, or bonds are known as, IR active molecule or moiety. Now we need to understand that how the dipole moment is changed of a bond. So it is basically due to difference in electronegativity. For example, actually there are two examples like ethanol and nitrogen. In ethanol we can see that there is hydroxy group, and in nitrogen there is only two nitrogens associating with triple bond to each other. So in case of ethanol, there is oxygen and hydrogen. Oxygen has its electronegativity and hydrogen has its own electronegativity, and we know that oxygen has higher electronegativity than hydrogen. So means there is difference in electronegativity of oxygen and hydrogen. So there is a difference in electronegativity of oxygen and hydrogen of this bond. So this bond will change its dipole moment, because dipole moment depends on electronegativity of the atoms. So that's why this ethanol will be known as IR active molecule. While in the case of nitrogen, there are two nitrogen and there is triple bond between two nitrogen, and both nitrogen has the same electronegativities. So that's why what will happen, there is no change in dipole moment, there is no difference in electronegativity. So this bond between nitrogen and nitrogen in nitrogen will not change its dipole moment, and it becomes IR inactive. Now the molecule has absorbed IR. Now what the next? So when the molecule absorbs IR, then there is excitation of molecule from a lower to higher vibrational level, and at the end we get IR spectra. So typically IR spectra is found between wave number and transmittancy or intensity. So wave numbers are taken at x-axis, while percentage transmittancy or intensity is taken at y-axis. Whenever we read the books, so there is generally there is written that for particular bond the IR frequency is this, but we plot or we take we have a spectra between wave number and transmittancy. So it is actually, we know that E is equal to h nu and nu is equal to c by lambda and 1 by lambda is equal to mu bar. So with this formula we can understand that E is directly proportional to mu frequency and E is also directly proportional to mu bar. So that's why in the book it is written that IR frequency of this bond is this, but there is no written that IR wave numbers of this bond is this. So it can be understood. So range of wave number is generally 2.5 to 25 micrometer. When we solve or convert it into wave number C centimeter inverse, then it is generally between 400 to 4000 centimeter inverse. Now this is range is divided into two parts. First is 500 to 1500 per centimeter and 1500 to 4000 per centimeter. The range belongs to 500 to 1500 centimeter is known as fingerprint region, and the functional group region is for 1500 to 4000 centimeter inverse. And the fingerprint region, the IR frequencies in fingerprint region are known as bending frequencies, and in functional group it is known as stretching frequencies. So stretching frequencies are of two types, like symmetric and asymmetric, while bending can be classified into on the basis of in plane and out of plane. In plane there are two, scissoring and rocking frequencies, while in case of out of plane there are again two, twisting and faking. So let's understand symmetric and asymmetric first. So we can see these two diagrams. When vibration is in the same directions of atoms, then it is stretching, symmetric stretching, while if it is the vibration is vibration in the opposite direction, then it is asymmetric stretching. Now in plane, scissoring and rocking. So we can understand with these models what is scissoring, what is rocking, what is wagging, and what is twisting. Now most importantly we have to understand the calculation of wave numbers. So there is a formula like mu bar is equal to 1 by 2 pi c under root k by mu. K stands for force constant that tells you the bond strength, and mu stands for reduced mass, that is m1 into m2 by m1 plus m2. So let's take an example. If we have three kinds of bond like triple bond, double bond, and single bond, so we can understand or we know that the bond strength of triple bond is greater than double bond and greater than single bond. So it means bond strength is high. So with this formula we can understand or we can say that mu bar, that is wave number, is directly proportional to force constant. So triple bond has greater bond strength than double bond and then single bond. So greater bond strength, greater mu bar. So that's why when we go for IR spectra of triple bond, double bond, and simple single bond, then we obtain the IR frequency for triple bond at 2150 per centimeter, while in case of double bond we obtain the IR frequency at 1650. Similarly 1100 per centimeter for single bond. Now let's take another example. If we have a methyl chloride, methyl bromide, or methyl iodide, then we know that the mass of iodine is greater than bromine, then greater than chlorine. So again we go for that formula, and we can understand with this formula that mu bar is mu bar is inversely proportional to mu, that is reduced mass. So if mass is greater, then mu bar will be lower. So when we go for IR spectra of methyl chloride, methyl bromide, or methyl iodide, then we obtain the IR frequency at 500 centimeter inverse for iodide, methyl iodide, 600 for methyl bromide, and 700 per centimeter for chloride. So this is the important thing to remember. Now we have to remember the order of frequency, that is asymmetric is greater than symmetric is greater than bending. So for asymmetric stretching we will have a maximum IR frequency or highest IR frequency, then symmetric, and then bending. Now we need to discuss some important points of IR spectroscopy, that if two atoms in one functional group are the same, then we will have two peak in IR spectra, and lower peak will represent the symmetric stretching, while higher peak will represent the asymmetric stretching. For example, if we have nitro group, there are two oxygen and one nitrogen in nitro group, and two oxygen are the same in a molecule. So we will have two stretching frequencies. First is 1350 centimeter inverse, and second is 1550 centimeter inverse. And lower frequency because of symmetric stretching, and higher frequency is because of asymmetric stretching. Another example, if we have NH2 group and there are two atoms are the same in a single group, so that's why we will obtain two IR frequencies, first at 3300 per centimeter and 3400 per centimeter. So lower due to symmetric stretching and higher due to asymmetric stretching. Now if we have two kind of alcohols like primary alcohol and secondary alcohol, and both alcohol shows IR frequency in the range of 3300 to 3400 centimeter inverse. So how can we distinguish these two alcohol on the basis of IR frequency? So if we have IR spectra of both alcohol, primary and secondary, then free hydroxyl group will have higher frequency, while steric hydroxy group will have lower frequency. So in the case of secondary alcohol, the hydroxy group is sterically more hindered in than primary alcohols. That's why primary alcohol will show higher frequency, and secondary alcohol will show less frequency or lower frequency. Now we need to discuss about frequency of carbonyl. So if we have a carbonyl containing a group which has lone pair, so what will be the effect of lone pair containing group on the frequency of carbonyl? So if we see the structure, and if there is lone pair containing atom, then lone pair is shifted to that bond, and double bond is shifted to oxygen. So the double bond between oxygen and carbon turns into single bond characters. So that's why, and we know that if double bond is there and single bond is there, then higher frequency will be for double bond, because double bond is more stronger than single bonds. So that's why in case of first mu bar, and mu bar means wave number or higher frequency will be higher than the second case. Similarly, if we have a group having minus I effect, then what will happen on carbonyls frequency? That if there is chlorine, then chlorine, since we know that it has a strong minus I effect due to its electronegativity, so that's why it will pull the bond pairs towards itself, uh, and because of that the lone pair of oxygen will be shifted to that double bond. So, and because of that oxygen will come closer to carbon, and when distance is decreased, bond distance is decreased, then bond becomes more stronger. So that's why, because of chlorine or group containing minus I, group having minus I effect, the bond strength of carbon and oxygen strengthened. That's why the higher frequency will be increased. If we have such kind of compound like pure carbonyl and allylic carbonyl, so then the frequency will be higher for pure carbonyl group, because in the case of allylic carbonyl, due to resonance, the carbon and oxygen bonds becomes single bond. That's why it will have lower frequency. So on comparison of pure carbonyl, chloro substituted carbonyl or allylic carbonyl, so in case of chloro substituted carbonyl, the higher frequency will be highest, then pure carbonyl, and then conjugated carbonyl. Now when molecule absorbs IR, then the vibration of bond or molecule excited from first vibrational level to excited or first excited when vibration from ground state to first excited state, then those vibration are known as fundamental vibration. Now overtones are basically secondary peak of fundamental peak of the same group. It may be 2 mu bar, 3 mu bar, 4 mu bar, and so on. Means if a fundamental peak at 700, then its overtone may be at 1400, 2100, 2800 centimeter inverse. So overtones are secondary peak of fundamental peak for the same group. It means if there is carbonyl group, then it will show two peaks. Like it will show two peaks. It will show fundamental peak at 1700, near around 1700. Then it can show its overtone at 3400, like this. So this is the overtone. But important thing is the intensity of overtone is always less than fundamental. So we can identify the overtones and fundamental peak. Now you can see this diagram that if there is a fundamental peak at 700 centimeter inverse, then its overtone will come around 1400 inverse. Now if we talk about aldehyde group, then the group or bond CH bond will show two peak in the range of 2700 to 2800 centimeter inverse and 2800 to 2900 centimeter inverse. These two peaks due to Fermi resonance. Now we need to understand the difference between overtone and Fermi resonance, because due to overtone we get two peaks, due to Fermi resonance we are getting two peaks. That's why we need to understand the difference between these two. So overtone of bending couples fundamental Fermi resonance. It means overtone plus fundamental peak gives Fermi resonance. Overtone couples with fundamental peak, that produces Fermi resonance. So suppose this is the fundamental peak and its Fermi resonance peak will come near to it. like it is like doublet in NMR. So this is the basic difference between Fermi resonance and overtones. Overtones is the secondary peak of fundamental peak, while Fermi resonance is the overtone plus fundamental peak gives of Fermi resonance. Now this table shows the important IR fix of particular group. This table must be remembered by everyone. Now ester or acid has greater IR frequency than ketone and aldehyde. Why? Because if we see the structure of ester, then due to resonance the double bond is formed between carbon and oxygen of methoxy group. So one double bond is diminished and another double bond is formed. That's why its IR frequency is greater than ketone or aldehyde's frequency. Now if we compare the OH frequency, hydroxy frequency, so we need to understand three basic hydroxy group. First, free hydroxy group, second, intramolecular hydroxy group, and third, intermolecular hydroxy group. So free hydroxy group has greater frequency than intermolecular than intermolecular. Why? Because in free hydroxy group it doesn't form hydrogen bonding, so that's why it is completely free and it can show its own frequency. But in the case of intramolecular, there is the hydrogen bonding between oxygen and hydrogen, so that's why bond becomes little bit weak, and if bond becomes weak then its frequency will be decrease, and this bond further more decrease in intermolecular case. So that's why in case of intermolecular hydrogen bonding, the OH frequency is lesser than intramolecular.